Welcome to Karen's Creative Cards and my first card making techniques and tips monthly class on YouTube. My name is Karen Hashik and my passion is card making and trying new techniques, products, and fun folds, and then sharing them on my blog, in the classes I teach, and now on YouTube. I have classes in my home every month where I teach 3 cards. My students are all experienced stampers and card makers, and I work hard to find new techniques and products to inspire them every month. My students pay to take my classes, of course, and go home with 3 completed cards with new techniques or products or fun folds. You can see how to make the 3 cards I teach every month for free, and if you stick around till the end of the lesson, you can find out how you can win the cards I made in today's video. If you found this video in September of 2017, be sure to watch the grand opening video to find out how to qualify for a chance at a prize package valued at almost $200. This month's theme is stretching your dies. We all know dies can be very expensive, especially the full-size background dies. I admit I am totally addicted to die cutting and buying many of the beautiful dies available from so many companies all over internet land. My first card is a summer card with a pop-up card with many different dies, and my second and third card shows how to use Altenew's Layered Floral Cover Die set in 2 very different ways. Here are the pieces you need, I'm going to use to make this card. First, I have a 5.5 by 11 piece of yellow cardstock scored at 5.5. I'm going to be using Burniston's Katherine label pop-up dies. In this die set, she includes all the labels and all the pieces necessary to make these really cute cards. But I wanted to use a die from Alina's Crafts that is a really cute sunglasses die. And they didn't fit on the label dies that were available with this set. So I am using Tonic Studios layering dies. It's the Cockle shell layering die set. I'm also using an Adirondack chair die from Diversions, cut out of orange cardstock. I'm using a sunshine stencil from the Crafter's Workshop. I'm using some distress ink and a smoothie sponge, and stamps from Joy's Life and Crockerbox Palace. I'm going to tape the yellow card base down with some temporary tape and attach the stencil over it with some blue temporary tape. And then I'm going to use my smoothie, which is a sponge that I really like, and it's sold in smaller size packs of 4 and the large size that I'm using. And after you're done with them, you can wash them out easily and use them for different colors of ink. Take a peek here and see if we like how it looks. Looks fine. Then I'm going to use, first I have to take this temporary tape off. I'm going to use the smallest of the Tonic Studios layering die and cut out the center of this. When that's done, this is how it's going to look. I also cut out a frame using 2 of those dies and glued it around the edge. And I stamped "You Are My Sunshine," which is a stamp from Cracker Box Palace. This is the arm from the Burniston Katherine label pop-up die set. I have a link to the die set, and on that page is a video that Karen did, and she explains very well how to assemble all her dies. But I'm going to show you today using the arm from her set. We're going to apply strong 2-sided tape to the tab at the end, to the next piece, next fold next to that, and to the triangle on the other end. We are going to fold down, or make a mountain fold of all the folds in this arm, and then you take it, and as you can see here, we applied it next to the fold with the tape that's in the little triangle, and it's going, the apparatus is going down. But actually we should create the little box first. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're creating a rectangle box, and the best way to do that, according to Karen's video, is to remove the tape on the little tab on the end, and then we're going to fold this arm there, and we've created the rectangular box that way. After you do that, then you're going to take the triangle piece that has the tape there, and you're going to attach that next to the fold on the inside of the card, so that when this folds up, you can see it through that hole. Then we are going to remove the tape that we put on the piece that was next to the end tab, and we're going to close the card on to that, and then that forms your pop-up box apparatus. Next, we're going to add some tape to that part of the little box. I'm sure that's too long, but let's just put it on there and then trim it. And then we're going to remove that tape, or remove the top of that tape, and line up the piece we cut out. And now when you open the card, that will pop up. Isn't that ingenious? Karen is just a Karen Burniston is a paper engineer. Next, we're going to take the sunglasses that we cut out. We cut that out of blue and black cardstock. And you want the blue insides and the black frame. Come on. So I'm going to take my favorite glue, which is Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive. And that sunglass frame is going to be attached in the center of the pop-up piece. And then I'm going to apply the blue pieces also with glue. Then on the inside of the card, we're going to again use the adhesive. This works really well for detailed dies such as I've used today. Goes right where you want it because it has a fine tip. And of course it dries clear, if any should seep out. So it pops up. I'm going to apply that there. And then I'm going to stamp the Enjoy the Summer from Joy's Life. It's an old set from Joy's Life. And we have a really cute summer card that pops up. You are my sunshine, and when you open it, that pops up and we see Enjoy the Summer and a chair that we could be enjoying the summer in. So that's my first card. My next two cards are going to show two very different ways to use the same die set. The set is Altenew's Layered Floral Cover Die A and B. They can be purchased separately, but trust me, you're going to want them both. It is pricey to buy both, but after watching Jennifer McGuire show me many ways to use them, I had to get them, of course. I've made so many cards with these beautiful dies, I definitely got my money's worth out of them. In the description, I linked to two series on my blog posts where I featured them. There's the side A and there's the side B. Here's some cards that other cards that I've made with them so you can see how versatile they are. In this case I used a blue glitter paper and a light blue pattern paper over yellow to make a beautiful card. In this case I cut them apart, which I'm going to do in my second card, and use some foil for a sentiment. And then I put the other flower in the inside. And in this one, I cut one of the layers out with thermal web deco foil over a toner sheet, and then used a navy blue cover A over it for another beautiful card. So as you can see, this set is very versatile and can be used in many ways. I'm also using Penny Black's sentiment set. It has You Are Awesome, Happy Everything, and I'm using the Wonderful. I'm using a A2 size side folding card, so it's 8.5 by 5.5 and folded in half and scored. I'm loving the 110-pound cardstock in Michael's Recollections collection. It's very heavy and good quality, and we can use our coupons to buy it, which makes it very reasonable. Now they have it in all sorts of colors too, available in the 110-pound weight. If you don't have a Michael's near you, I did put a link in the description where you could buy it online. I have a dark purple piece that's 5.5 by 4.25, and a light purple piece, also 5.5 by 4.25, and I've already cut out the 2 layers of the dies. In my videos, I'm not going to show any actual die cutting or embossing, but if you ever have any questions about how to do that, any sandwich information or anything, don't hesitate to put it in the comments. We also need a piece of vellum that is 3/4 of an inch by 5, and some dark purple scraps to cut out the wonderful die from Penny Black. Of course, I'm going to be using my favorite Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive glue and my Tim Holtz mini snips. I use these all the time, and I even got a pair autographed by Tim Holtz that does not come out of its package, of course, autographed by Tim Holtz at this year's Kreative gathering. The first step to make this card is to apply liquid adhesive to the back of the layered floral cover die A, and then attach it to the other one. I usually pick out the bigger openings or the bigger pieces and apply glue there first. I know you're watching me glue, but this wasn't something I could do in advance, so it's real important to catch the tips of a lot of these pieces of this delicate die too. Make sure they're all going to stick together. Now we're going to line this up. It's good. Then we're going to take the vellum strip and lay that across here and figure out where we want to put the wonderful. The vellum just helps the sentiment to stand out and make it very visible when you're putting it over a busier background like we are today. I know they have spray adhesives, but I never really like working with them. It seems like there's just a lot of extra adhesive that I don't want. Again, any of the glue that comes out will dry clear. Next, I'm going to take a pencil and figure out where I want to attach the vellum on the frame. I have some white sparkly brads, and I wanted them to be purple. So what I did was I took my Nuvo, I forget what they're called, Kreative Pen Dual Tipped Markers. It's a Nuvo product from Tonic, and they are alcohol based, so they're like a Copic. Okay, and they have a chisel end and they have a fine tip end, and they're sold 3 in a pack, so you get your light, dark, and medium of every color. And I use the purple, and I'll link to that in the description. But if you have Copics or Sharpies, that will work as well. I took the alcohol pen and I colored the brads and made them sparkly purple. And I'm going to use a small punch where I marked it, and then use the sparkly purple brads once I get them through to attach the vellum. It did not work. To the frame. There we go. And I'll repeat that on the other side. And then I'm going to trim the extra vellum off from the back. And for the last step, we're going to use our favorite glue again, and we're going to apply it to the white card base. I would normally take a little more time and make sure there was glue everywhere, but for the sake of hurrying this along, I will use that much today. You can trim that off, of course. So there's our second card done. It is a wonderful layered flower card that could be used for birthdays or thinking of you or anything. And I'll be back with the third card, which is going to be a Christmas card using this same set. My third card that I am teaching this month is this Christmas Blessings card, showing a different way to use Altenew's Layered Floral Cover Dies. Once again, I have used the Altenew Layered Floral Cover Die B and A. I am also using a beautiful Christmas Blessings die from Kreative Expressions, and some pine needle dies from Impression Obsession. I am using a white card base, folded and scored in half. It is the A2 size, 8.5 by 5.5. I have stamped the sentiment in the inside with black ink. That is a sentiment from Penny Black's set Seasons Gifts, to save a little time. And I have pre-cut the 5.5 by 4.25 sheets of dark red and light red, again to save a little time, out of the layered die A and B. I am going to put glue my favorite Nuvo Deluxe adhesive on the back of the side A and put them together. And for this card, we are going to be cutting these apart and just leaving the sides and the flowers and cutting off the leaves. So I am not applying glue to the parts that I know that I'm going to cut off. With the liquid adhesive, it will move for a short time, so you can move it exactly where you want it. And again, we'll dry clear if there's anything that seeps out. Now I am going to cut around the two bottom flowers and then around the top flower. So I'm cutting off the leaves. I'm going to start here, and then I'm cutting just to the outside of the petals. And this one is a leaf, so we want to cut that off. There's another leaf that we're going to cut off. And then leave the frame on. Looks like I get a little bit closer here. And that's going to be on the bottom of the card in the front. Now on the inside we're going to use this other flower, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut that right away too. I'm now going to apply this with glue, but I'm going to avoid the upper edges so I can put my greens down inside there. So I'm going to get the outside with glue. And the bottom part's good. But I'm going to leave the top edges without glue so I can get my glue, my greens shoved down inside there. This is going to be along the bottom edge of the card. And then I'm going to apply my Christmas blessings. Lots of gluing in these cards. Christmas blessings, another beautiful die. I have, like I said, this is a die from Impression Obsession. And then these are pine needles that I punched with an old punch from Martha Stewart. I'm not sure if it's available anymore, but any kind of pine needles or branches or anything would work just fine. I think this one I'm going to trim down just a little bit and stick in there. This one I'm going to cut in half and put part of it up here and maybe part down there. And then I'll fill in with the pine, punched pine needles. I think the easiest way to attach these greens is to use mini glue dots. So I am just going to take a little glue dot and apply it to the end and then shove it in. And repeat. And then I'm going to fill it in with the pine needles, punched pine needles, again using a small glue dot. So I see a little thing I need to punch out here. Our front is completed, and then on the inside I am going to, and look what I did, okay, I stamped that a little too high, didn't I? Well, I would suggest, of course, stamping that down a little bit lower, and then we would attach this, and I can always cover that up and lower it a little bit on the finished card. But in the meantime, you can see that that's what the front can look like, and that's what the inside can look like if I stamped it a little bit lower and applied the second flower to the inside of the card. So those are the completed cards for this month. I hope you enjoyed my first session of card making techniques and tips. If you would like to receive the cards I made in the video today in the mail, all you need to do is, number one, become a subscriber or be a returning subscriber and tell me in the comment which one you are. Leave a comment telling me where you're from. Sorry, I can't mail outside of the United States. And which was your favorite of the cards I showed today and why. If you're comfortable with leaving your email address in the comment, you can stretch it out like saying your name at gmail.com. I will be sure to be able to reach you if you win, or stop back early next month when I post next month's card class and I'll respond to your comment letting you know you won. This contest is open in the month of August 2017 until the September 2017 class is posted. Thanks for helping me share the joy of creativity.